One of the dramatic moments in the HBO series, and I think there was even a YouTube video of this, was people watching the Red Wedding and what happened. And, the video of people watching that became viral. Were you surprised that that's the entry point that a lot of people made into both the series and to your work?
I was surprised by the videos. I was not surprised by the reaction to it because I'd been through a similar reaction when the book came out, A Storm of Swords, 13 years prior to it. I remember one tweet that someone posted the day after the Red Wedding episode aired that said, "Now you know why your nerdy friend was really depressed 13 years ago." And there was a certain amount of truth to that. I got letters at that time saying, you know, "I hate you, I threw your book across the room, I'm never going to read you again, I threw your book in the fire." That was a good one because it was like, I threw your book in a fire, and then 3 days later I went out and bought a new copy because I had to find out what happened next. But now we were talking about millions of people reacting to it. The Red Wedding was brutal in the book, but in some ways it was even more brutal on TV because David and Dan, the showrunners, did turn it up to 11 by adding the Talisa character and her unborn child, who don't exist in the book. Rob is married, but he has a different wife, and she's not pregnant, and he doesn't bring her to the wedding. He says, "No, it's going to be dangerous here," so he keeps her at River Run, where he knows she'll be safe. So by including her, they made the scene even more brutal, which I think increased the reaction to it even more. But the most astonishing thing was those videos. The fact that people who knew what was going to happen actually set up their wives and husbands and children and parents and brothers and sisters and friends and loved ones to capture their dismay and shock at the moment that wedding hit was something I never could have anticipated. I don't think anyone did, but it was pretty amazing.
And a great feeling.
Yeah. It's you know, when I write anyway, I want to engage my readers' emotions or my viewers' emotions. You don't want, you know, death is a big thing, you know. When we experience death in real life, it affects us, you know. When a spouse dies, or your parents die, your brother dies, your dog gets run over, or God forbid one of your children dies, it rips your heart out. It affects you emotionally. If we're creating characters that we really care about, we should react in a similar way when they die in fiction or on television. It shouldn't be just, oh, okay, that character's dead. Let me go out and get a sandwich during a commercial. I mean, then you're not doing your job. I want to grab hold of my readers and make them cry and make them grieve and make them laugh as well and experience joy, experience the worlds on the page as if they were living them. That's the dream of me, at least, and I think of most writers.
Pop culture has grabbed Game of Thrones. It's been featured in The Simpsons and South Park. What goes through your mind when you see these references and what happens?
Well, I think it's tremendously cool. Of course, it's nice to be doing something that everybody is so aware of and that has entered the cultural zeitgeist in that manner. The only aspect of it that really astonishes me is not that the characters and the story is being parodied or referenced in these various places, but to the extent to which I personally am. I mean, when I see myself as a character on South Park, or I see Bobby Moynihan imitating me with the suspenders and the hat on Saturday Night Live, when I see companies selling Halloween costumes, not Halloween costumes to be Jon Snow or Daenerys, but Halloween costumes to be me, that's pretty freaky. That's something I could never have anticipated, and I still don't know what to think of it.